Alright, I'm going to model and explain as I go the wheel for the train as efficiently as we can. Make sure you've got your drawing. You can also check out my video where I explain the strategy but don't go through all the steps in Inventor, and that would be a more challenging video to see if you can use just that and build it yourself without all the little clicks. Okay, so basically I'm going to make this profile right here, and I'm going to revolve it around the kind of an axis. Everything's dimensioned off of that center line, so I'm not even going to worry about making the hole until afterwards. So I'm going to basically have like a kind of a rectangular shape that comes out here, okay? And so we're going to have to get these details. Let's look at the kind of dimensions right away, though. We've got a 1 inch dimension out to here, and then it's like a semicircle. So how about we try that? Oh, go to Inventor. All right, so I've already clicked New Sketch. I'm trying to think. It doesn't really matter which face I go on, but all right. I'm going to make my window a little bigger. Okay, so I'm going to come out here, and we're going to go, what was it, 1 inch? And the width was 0.25, so I'm zoomed way out and zoom in. Okay, so I saw the width out here. So I did my length and my width. Now that's coming from that center line, right? Okay, so I've got the semicircle on the end. How about we do that real quick? I'll add a circle. I'm going to hover and find the midpoint there, right there. And I'll just go to the corner. It gives me the correct width. I can use the trim tool and cut this piece off. And even, it doesn't want me to trim that because of the dimension, so we'll just leave it for now. All right, and I see this little zigzaggy part. Kind of comes in and comes back out. I also notice there is a leader line going to that curve. If you can see that, you can zoom in a little better. All right, so it's rounded there. The inside corners are rounded, and this radius is 1/16 of an inch, 0.0625. TYP means typical. So basically anything that looks about like that, it's typically 1/16. So we'll just use that for all of those. But first I need to bring it in and back out. So I could just rough that real quick. And I can come back and dimension it in just a second. I'm going to use my trim tool, and I'm going to get rid of that piece. Didn't like that for some reason. What did it do? Okay. No, it doesn't want to let me trim that. Okay, well, worry about that later. So let's figure out where these corners go. I've got from the end 1/4 inch is that, and then this is 3/4 inch. So basically this little feature is about a 1/2 inch long, and the width of it, how deep this way, is looks like that's 1/8 showing here. The center, that looks lined up with the center, so I'm going to say it's 1/8 and 1/8. Okay, so let's get those dimensioned. So from the center here, this was 1/4 inch. This was 1/8 of an inch. I'm sorry, 3/4 inch. And then the width going this way was 1/8. Okay, now I'm going to use the fillet tool. Make it 1/16, which is 0.065, and we're going to fill it from here to here. From here to here. Zoom in on that. From here to here. And from here to here. There you go. So that captures that profile. So we've done a pretty good job. We've got captured the profile of the wheel. We hit Finish Sketch. And we are going to revolve both of these profiles. Choose axis. What are we going to spin around? This end line. And we got a wheel. Let's spin this around. Okay, I'll go ahead and make that my front view right here. Right click, set this as the front. I'm going to make this my front top right, my home view. So set current view as home, fit to view. There you go. Okay, now let's put the hole in the middle. To do a hole, we're going to make a sketch, and a sketch is only a point. Very simple. That's it. So a point. And then we use the hole tool. And we need the correct size. Alright, so if I scroll down here, They show me the leader line to the hole is a 0.28 inch diameter through hole. Goes all the way through. So the diameter right here, we need to make that 0.28. And the distance is just through all. And that's it. Simple hole. Okay. Next up, we need to cut out those that pattern. We can do it either on the front face or you can go to the back. That's a little smoother to look at. Either way, these cutouts go all the way through, and they've given us some information here to understand. So it looks like they are 30 degrees, kind of wide, if you will. They taper in, so it's on an angle. The distance spacing is 30 degrees, which is typical, so they're all evenly spaced, and there's 6 of them I can count. So really, if I just make one, I'm going to pattern it 6 times, and it'll work itself out. This one is straight ahead, straight up. So I'm just going to make the one at the top. I know they kind of reference I could make one and go 15 degrees up. I'm just going to come right here. And so let's start a new sketch here. All right, and the circles, though, basically I'm going to use for the bottom, the inside, that is an arc. Okay, if you look at this leader line pointing at that, it's a radius of 0.375. So I'm going to make a circle, which Inventor wants me to give a diameter right now, not a radius, so I can even just type 0.375 times 2 if you need Inventor to do the math for you. And the outer part, I've got a leader line right here. Those are 0.625 in radius. I don't know what that circle is. There you go. Okay. I might have clicked accidentally. So 0.625 times 2. There you go. And so we're going to build, I'm going to use the line tool. Right here, if I go straight up, the degrees is 90. I'm going to walk this way, 15 degrees. So 90, take away 15 is going to be 75. I'm going to hit tab to go to the degree and make that 75. I'm going to make a line tool again, also from the center. Come over here. Tab. 105 is actually perfect. 90 plus 15 is 105. Oh, I hit the wrong button on my keyboard. All right, there you go. No, it's not doing it. Tab. Click. There you go. All right. Now I'm going to use the arc tool to. Basically, I don't want the whole circle, so I'm going to make an arc that starts and stops on those ends, and the third point is going to be on the circle right here. All right, and then an inner arc is going to be from here to here. Third point on there. All right, and then I'm going to use the line tool, and I'm going to come back and actually make a segment that just is right here on these sides. That way I can trim everything away, and I've got the actual profile created, so I can get rid of all the excess. Okay, I can get rid of all that, leave just the profile. And we will extrude cut that, extrude, cut that shape. Doesn't need to be 1 inch, it just needs to be kind of through all. Hit OK. And now we're going to pattern it. It's kind of seems like a revolve, but we're going to do a circular pattern around a line that goes right through the middle. So first we need to make the line through the middle. I'm going to go to my work axes right here, this little button, and I want a line that goes through the center of a circular or elliptical edge. So I'm going to choose the circle right there. Either of those, there's several circles to be choosing, but that's it. They all have the same center line. And now we'll use the circular pattern tool right here. In pattern, there's circular pattern. We're going to choose the feature to pattern. We're going to now say we're going to select the rotation of axis. And then we can specify the number of times we want to pattern it. You can see we actually wanted 6. I'm just showing you can change that. We want a full rotation. Okay, and there you go. Let's go back to the front face. We are almost done with our wheel. We scroll back up. The last little piece is this, which is where the linkage arm connects. All right. Now the hard part is that if you look at the dimensions of where this center is right here from the center of the wheel, it's 7/10. And the size of it, let's see, here's a leader line here, is 1/4 inch. If you do that on the face, you're going to see that a circle that is 1/4 inch in, what is that, the radius or diameter? Yeah, 1/4 inch diameter. Okay, let's make that. And dimensioned to be 7/10 from the center is overlapping here. That's awkward, right? So I'm going to undo that. We're not going to start our sketch on that face. Undo. We are going to create a plane that brings it out. We're going to do our sketch out here, okay, on this end, the outer end, and we'll extrude it back into the wheel. So how far out does that come? We need to understand that. And this drawing, this little detail drawing, allows me to see that it comes out to that circle. See that extension line? That's 3/8, 0.375. So we're going to use this work plane where we're going to make an offset from planes. We're going to be able to pull it out from this face a specified amount, and that'll give us a drawing. So we're going to draw on the end and then extrude back into the wheel. And I can type here 0.375. Start new sketch on this surface, and now I can make my circle. It was 0.25 diameter. It was dimension 7/10 from the center. Pull that away so you can see it. And finish sketch. Now we're going to extrude that, and we're going to extrude it back the other direction. Now, instead of a set distance, it's a different distance based on where it starts hitting the wheel, right? Well, you don't have to use extends distance. You can change this to next, where the to next is point by point across that whole surface. So it'll morph into that shape and blend perfectly. There you go. We can take this work plane and we can hide it. Visibility, uncheck. Okay, so the last little piece to this is this extra little cylinder needs to pop out, and then there's a hole in it. And if you study this detail view, you'll see that the hole, okay, this little line shows the hole, is deeper than this piece comes out. So we're not going to do them at the same time since they're different depths. We're going to bring this out the 1/8, and let's see, the radius is also a 1/8, so remember that, an 1/8 and an 1/8. So let's start a new sketch right on that face. Let's use a circle. It's going to have a diameter of 1/8, and we're going to hit E on the keyboard to extrude. Tilt it so you can see, and we want to come out only 1/8, 0.125. There you go. Now the next sketch is a hole. So how do we make a hole? We make a point. So I'm going to use my point tool just right at the center. Oh, did I get it? Right there. Finish sketch, and then I'll use the hole tool. So hole there, that's way too big. So let's go back to the drawing to understand the size of the hole is 0.0625. This is the diameter. It's looking at the hole. So that's 1/16, a depth of 1/4. So let's change. We're on a through hole right now. We don't want that. Where's my termination is just a set distance. So this I can specify was the 16th. That's my diameter. And the depth was 1/4 inch. There you go. So I'm on a simple hole. My termination is not through all. It's a specified distance. I get those set. Hit OK, and you got it. And that is the entire wheel. The work axis, things like that, you can come over, you can find them either in the graphic window or in the browser, and you can turn the visibility off so you don't see it. All right, save your work, and good job.